What's up, everyone? I'm Gavin or Tweek.
Yo, it's Pink.
What up, Charles?
What's up, everyone? I'm back. It's Matt, aka Haz. What's
Let's
going on,
go.
everyone?
Yeah, you weren't here last time.
Has
No,
back.
well
New
said. Haz
name.
back again. That's right. What's going on, everyone? I missed you guys. I missed you too, chat. What's up?
As Heckles.
As Heckles, Charles Chaz.
47.
What was Marcus Mumbles? That was so good.
That was a good one.
That's
right?
crazy.
All the multiverses of Tweek Talks.
Tweek speaks, dude. Still a letdown. But
Bro,
As of this episode, we are talking about a new game. We are talking about a game with Slingshot.
Oh.
it's GimR's world now.
I was like, what the heck? What game are we talking about today? You're releasing something we don't know about?
I'm curious to hear everyone's thoughts on the impacts and maybe your own specific characters and stuff. I guess I'll start. I've been playing Diddy and Sephiroth, and Diddy doesn't really do much with Slingshot traditionally because he doesn't have much air drift, right? You can get max range forward airs with the flick shot, which is cool. And there's also a trick where if you do a flick shot into a rising monkey flip, you actually command grab people on platforms faster than normal. So he does stuff like that where he benefits from it, but not traditionally, I guess. And then Sephiroth, I feel is just purely traditionally movement, not much pressure or
right?
combos or anything. Yeah, mostly just flick shotting for movement and neutral, which is really helpful. But yeah, it's not the most revolutionary thing ever to my gameplay at the moment, but it is something that's really nice, especially for keeping up in neutral with Sephiroth, which I've been doing it for a while, but it just didn't really have much of a name.
Right. Just roaring in neutral.
My secret conversation with GimR.
So, for my character, I don't know if y'all saw, but in the video, right, in the trailer video, there's this part where I say what am I supposed to do with that? That's because
You literally didn't know what to do.
there's not really much that Min she's not hitting your shield with a safe move and then doing something afterward, right? And the best thing she has is that it allows full drift, retreating, jumping rams, right? Or it allows you to also do full drift retreating switches. So let's say you have ram out and you want to switch to megawatt and retreat at the same time, you can full drift switch by pressing that diagonal. When you do the diagonal, it'll switch to megawatt or whatever, you get that. But I already knew it wasn't going to be crazy for Min. Maybe somebody, I mean, there's a lot of lab monsters, maybe Slam Jam or something will figure something out. But I knew for me personally as Min, it wasn't going to affect much. Now, I've also been playing a lot of Marth, and movement wise, that joint is crazy on Marth. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
You can, it's cross ups all over the place. You can do down tilt, and if they try to punish you moving forward, a forward aerial or something out of shield, you flank shot away, you get something falling near one until whatever, you get whatever you imagine. There's setups where you can do falling up air on shield, and if they keep shielding because you condition them that you'll do up air jab, right? So you condition them to keep holding shield. You could do flank shot, shield breaker downward, and it'll break their shield. There's some stuff for Marth for sure. And just movement wise in general, a lot of times with characters that you want to use falling aerials with to get things started, it can be kind of hard to position yourself for that, especially if you poke them and then you try to do dash back, because sometimes your dash back gets caught. And normally because you want to do that falling aerial, you would have to do dash back, jump, then fall, right? So to get the facing forward aerial, so it's just cool that you can do that. So with those two, I mean, it's like completely drastic differences, right? Like Min Min doesn't get much out of it as far as we know, and then Marth gets like a ton out of it. So I obviously it's like a character dependent thing, and because it only applies to certain characters, and it may make some characters better and some characters worse. I guess it is technically meta changing, right? Because it's like changing how good some character. It might change or affect how good certain characters are, right? So we'll see moving forward. Um, I hope it doesn't turn into a Smash Four where perfect pivots were like supposed to be great, and then nobody really used them except for like 10 players at the top level, so it didn't
Right.
really get much use. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think we'll see is like the number one thing here, and I love the way one thing that GimR did so well is he framed this tech as in like it's gonna take time to really figure out how to
Yeah.
implement this and how it's gonna work. And I think like the top three characters out of the gate, or I'd say top four that I've seen so far that it's gonna impact, Sheik, which we talked about a ton, which is good anyway because like the player base is full of lab monsters anyway that want to push that character because their combos are so sick and satisfying to hit. So she and their top player is obviously a lab monster too, Void, which will help out a lot. Sheik, Wolf, I've seen a lot of good stuff for. Obviously, Lucas, which is kind of a meme, but at the same time, it does really impact the way the character moves and how he flows. Then Palu, too. It looked like there were some more consistent ways to hit like back airs and other stuff with her. So, yeah, it's been pretty interesting. And all those characters, except for like Lucas, were all considered like really top, consistent threats in the game. So, it'd be interesting to see how it affects everyone. With that being said, like, I still think what GimR said is super true, where it's going to take a lot of time for that to really develop and to happen before we see it really take shape and form. And I think until it's applied in a tournament setting, until you can really see how big of an impact is it really going to have? Is it really worth learning? And I think like if nothing else, like some of the stuff I've seen for Shotos, like Terry, it started with like Slingshot falling up air onto shield, which I think is something that Terry's needed to do anyway or think about into their game plan. So even if it doesn't have the impact of like, wow, everyone's slingshotting everywhere, like it's crazy. It might be like it might change the way that you look at some characters or the way that they apply pressure anyway, outside of slingshot. So I think regardless, it's really refreshing. It's great to see everyone on Twitter get hyped about something and like talk about new tech and envision the game in new ways and try to implement new stuff. So the overall impact, you gotta wait and see, I think, and which is also exciting in its own right too. So it'll be cool. And in a roster this huge with characters that are all so different and might be able to use it in different ways, I'm pretty excited to see exactly what's going to happen here. Who knows? So it's, if nothing else, it's really exciting to be a part of a time where the meta can be redefined, it can be changed, and can be looked at least under a different scope. So we'll see. I have faith in it, though. We'll see.
My favorite thing about it is going back to what Marcus said about like using it to like avoid your dash back getting caught. Like instead of dashing back, like going into like a flick shot or whatever, like shifting your hurt box in a better way. That's my personal favorite
Yep.
because I can't tell you how many times I've been like hit out of shield for like doing Diddy Kong's like extremely safe back air, but my dash back gets caught, or like down tilting with Diddy Kong, which is like
Mhm.
relatively safe, at least to avoid like shield grabs and then like getting caught when I dash back or something. So like having like an alternative method to avoid that is so refreshing because like I hate playing by the numbers and then like getting
Yep.
hit by the thing I was
Bro.
trying to avoid. Like it's like so upsetting for like so many different reasons. That's my personal favorite thing about it, especially with Sephiroth, where it's like I'm like spacing my moves and I'm like retreating to a better spot really fast, and I'm also just not worrying about any of the things you're throwing at me or something. Like I'm just out of there completely without like shifting my hurt box towards you and risking something crazy happening. That's my favorite thing about it for sure. Just the consistency of it.
Yeah, I think the two strongest things about this tech is and I've talked with one of the things Void said that I think is a really good point is tech doesn't necessarily have to be something super brand new. Obviously, this is a culmination of a bunch of things that we already knew about combined with the buffer system. The presentation was amazing in terms of breaking down the buffer system, how you're abusing the buffer system with all these other things that we knew about. Um, but if you can find, because doing IRR is a one frame window according to GimR, right? So making IRARs from 1 frame window to like a 7 frame buffer window is huge, right? And that's why we knew about the Lucas Infinite before, but now it's way more consistent to do IRAR Nair. So that opens up the floodgates. The two strongest thing about Slingshot is the consistency it brings to the table and the hurtbox shift. Those two things are the absolute strongest. So even really simple combos were like, even Void was showing me he loves doing forward tilt into flick shot,
Slingshot.
full hop, bear, and you get sour bear, and then you connect it into a strong bear, and it's a kill confirm. And he's like, with flick, this was super hard to do without flick shot because you had to do a frame 1 perfect full hop IRAR, which is now let's not get into the reason why doing a full hop aerial is a 1 fucking frame input. That's a whole nother discussion about this. But some of the frustrations about this game, how some of the should be very simple things to do, because I'll tell you right now, in Smash 4, doing a fucking full hop aerial buffered follow up with that buffer system was very easy. But kind of turning this buffer system into something that was very frustrating, now we can use it and actually execute some of these things that we had issues with. So the consistency, the hurtbox shift, but those are like in game the two things by far that are the best things about this. And like the new thing to the table being the actual like shots, the slingshots. The hurtbox shift is something that I don't think we really knew about, or I mean, it wasn't didn't really bring it wasn't in light. And that's another cool thing about this tech. It's a culmination of a bunch of stuff. So we knew about a lot of like this IRAR stuff and all this other things, but now I see even more players doing like ledge slip tech, like just all the tech that we've known about for years is kind of being quote unquote rediscovered because everyone's getting hype about tech again. And there's not a lot of tech in Ultimate unless you're Steve. Steve is like the only like tech character I feel like in terms of like heavy tech. But yeah, it's really cool to see my personal favorite thing is the community just like getting hyped about labbing and trying to figure out stuff and really understanding momentum. I do think this is character specific. Like I think it completely changes the way she can play, because doing like you turn a situation like falling fair on shield, which is like that is the aerial. Like if you count how many times she does a falling fair on your shield during a match, in a singular game, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be in the double digits, like free. So you changing that particular situation, like I think she becomes a very different character. I don't know if it makes her like extremely stronger or not. I think it definitely gives her a lot more options, which I guess in turn does make her stronger. So I do think this makes Sheik a lot stronger, because I've seen like it's been 2 to 3 days or whatnot, or not. And it hasn't even been like a week yet, and the shit I'm seeing Void do is absolutely insane. I think Void has a very creative mind for tech, and he's just really good with it. But it took him a while to really implement perfect pivots, but this is like feels like easier. What I'm saying, because of the buffer system.
His reaction was so good, like when the light bulb went off, like when he went,
yeah,
like that face was so good, dude. It was such a good reaction. It was so good, man, and you could just see the wheels turning. And Charles, I think we were kind of talking about the same thing, but it was just even the memes, like everything coming out of like the last couple days of this tech, like it was just a really refreshing time in Ultimate's timeline, like just to be a part, like. There's hope for characters, like, oh, maybe this will help my character get better at some matchups or some things that they struggle in. These memes it was a really fun, let's be real, like, that was really funny, obviously. Like, the delay, like,
yeah, the whole meme
sucks,
where, like, GimR
oh,
delayed it for a couple days or whatever. The memes that came out of that, 10 out of 10.
Absolutely, dude.
GimR's legs when he gets to the lab, like, it's like buffed calves and stuff. Like,
it was it was such a funny time to be on Smash Twitter, which is not every day, which is really good. It was really just a great week, honestly, for Smash Ultimate Twitter, which was so good. So yeah, man, it's good. I'm hopeful. I think, which is exactly what I think GimR wanted, which is amazing. So we'll see how much it really works out, but I'm pretty excited to see the final results here. But we'll get into it.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see it, and we're already seeing clips of it. I mean, obviously it's not tournament clips and stuff like that, but even when I think the craziest thing about this tech is that it's so easy to do that.
What was that?
What the heck? What is that?
I don't know.
That's GimR when he got to the lab.
That's GimR? Well, good for him. Can't
Yeah,
maximize it. I couldn't see the whole image anyway. Sorry. Go ahead.
but yeah, I think this tech is so easy, and I think it just goes really well with sword characters in general.
Sword characters, yeah.
Any forward-facing, like, I just want to really quick break down the stats. So for flick shot, you're basically banking off of your initial dash momentum and your max airspeed. So if your max airspeed is trash, then you're not going to go that far with the flick shot. That's why Lucas is so great because, and then hold shot, you're more so it's all about your air acceleration. How fast is your air acceleration and how it can combat your initial dash speed and come back in, right? So obviously Lucas is the best because, or one of the best because you have high air acceleration and high air drift. So just like knowing that, see, and even more people might be interested in like even stats in general because like, oh well, why is it better for X character, why is it better
Yeah.
for this character, right? And even like for Fox, it just sucks because, or I don't think it sucks for Fox, but it's definitely not that great because you probably could just full hop anyway to get the nair, right? But I like once you understand all of this, you can kind of craft what you can start doing with your character, right? Fox's forward air is not really like a pressure; it's more of a commitment. It has a little bit of lag, right? It's not like a Sheik fair or like a Swordy fair, like Byleth or Marth fair, stuff like that. So if your character pressures with like a very long distance fair or a lagless fair, you can kind of set yourself up into that rinse repeat situation. Or I think the most common thing that we're going to see, and a lot of players I've already seen clips of player doing this, is you pressure someone's shield, you flick shot back if they roll, because rolling is a very common like cross up roll to like claim stage control. Say you're cornering them, right? And they cross up roll you, and you're already flick shotting back, then you can get a falling arrow on the punish on the roll on reaction, right? So that I think will probably be one of the more common situations. And because it's so easy, because you can use it in these very like I would say very common situations for very common answers to shield pressure, I think we'll even see players like Leo and Spargo use it. And the thing is with Leo and Spargo, they're players that keep things very simple. Obviously, like they'll play very fast. They're the best players we got in the world right now, right? And they are very simple with their game plans. But this is so like I feel like this is so good and so simple that they are even willing to add it to their game plan, right? Because there's other players that will put more time into tech and they'll take the risk of using high execution stuff, right? Like I think Tweek is one of those players where he'll risk using high execution stuff in bracket even though it's just harder to do and you could flub it, right? But he compensates that with just like grinding the tech out. Whereas Spargo and Leo, they'll just keep it more simple. And I mean, you can kind of get away with that with sword characters as well, right? Like sword characters, their strategy is very simple, just mainly stage positioning wise. But I think we'll even see players like my main point is we'll even see players like Spargo and Leo probably implement this into their play because it's so accessible. It's
Yeah,
so
Leo was really quick to practice it and do a bunch of stuff with it, from what I noticed, and even Spargo too. Like, they seemed like kind of like going back to what we were talking about with Void, like being super interested in it, and like the gears were turning immediately. I saw the same thing with Leo and Spargo, which is like a bit surprising. That basically it just shows the potential of the tech in the first place.
Right.
If like every play style of top player is like, yeah, like I want to use this in my game plan like right now. It's pretty interesting. And sword characters benefit from it so much because of
Yes.
the simplicity of the tech in nature, just for like movement and spacing around the stage. So, um, at its core, like sword characters probably benefit from it the most,
Just what
in
they
the most
needed.
traditional way. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Another advantage for sword characters. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's funny too because a lot of sword characters can move really well too. Because when you think of like safe long distance aerials, I think of like Belmont. That's great. It's not going to help them out too much. Their air movement is trash. Like it's just not going to be the thing for them. So it's just funny to think about like another good thing for Cloud Aegis. Think of the characters that are really going to benefit from it. Already characters who are mobile get even more mobile. Yeah, Aegis. Good example. Nice shot production. That was really good. That was really quick. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how it really affects the meta. And I like it too, Charles. We were talking about this a bit when GimR kind of revealed the tech, and it's like I feel like a lot of us or a lot of players are fighting against the buffer system when it comes to playing this game. And this kind of, instead of like swimming against stream, is what I said. This is like swimming with it. Like you're using the frames that they have in there to kind of naturally move in the system that they have implemented in the game. And we don't need to get in the weeds too much with that, but essentially, like the buffer system, it's like training wheels for a lot of people, which is helpful. But sometimes they hurt you when you're trying to just do some basic stuff, and you move like too fast. Is that a good way to break it down, Charles?
Yeah, a lot of people dislike the buffer system, but like over the years, we've come up with a lot of things that are capable of happening because of the buffer system. Like a lot of the stuff I do at Diddy Kong are actually exploits of the buffer system, and like all the crazy stuff I do. And this tech is also an example of taking advantage of the buffer system. So I feel like we've come full circle of like, at first we kind of just hated it and it felt like it was limiting the game, but now it's like helping. The buffer system existing is like helping push the game to its limits now, which is pretty interesting.
Right.
So I feel like at this point you either have to accept it, or you're going to get left behind, because now people are like actually exploiting the buffer system in a good way. So
yeah.
Ooh, Martha's moving. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's really good with Martha. But
Leo's a genius. He's the first character he went with. He's farming the interactions, dude. He knows what he's doing. That's smart. That's smart.
And I feel like even if your character doesn't get much out of it, like I still do believe Fox doesn't really get much out of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're screwed. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to, like, in my opinion, I don't think you have to do this tech. Like it's not like if you don't do this tech, you'll be left behind. Like just some because I do think it's situational in terms of like if your character can abuse it, but still, like even if you can't really, if your character doesn't utilize it that much, you still have to be aware of how other characters utilize it, right? So, and even then, like your character probably can utilize it just in a sense of like if you have any kind of follow up with like a raw or something like that. I think most characters can get a little something out of it, even if it's just like making your follow ups just a tad bit more consistent. That helps, right? If you have to do like double back air or something like that, or just down throw into a back air, anything into just a RAR, it'll help. So I think there are going to be characters that take way more advantage of it, but just making sure you're aware of that is the main thing.
Oh no, does that mean that down throw back air is going to be more consistent as Byleth?
Yeah, that's what it was for Palu, right? Yeah, that's what the Palus were saying. So it became better.
Yeah, Leo actually might start doing more. Like I know he doesn't go for too much throw stuff in the corner, but back throw or down throw into back air is a like actual kill confirm for Byleth. Leo usually tries to set up like Nair into fair, kind of like that's generally his style. It's more swingy, but and he might not go for the down throw back air as much in bracket because it might be a little harder to execute, but now maybe he will be more open to doing it, right? Which makes his corner pressure even scarier.
Wario has a lot of ways to connect Nair 1 into Nair 2 more consistently with this tech as well.
Really?
So,
reverse Nair?
Like you can do up tilt into Nair 1-2 with like flick shot Nair and like
Void has been doing flick shot Nair with Sheik, and you get like
the reverse hit.
Back side of it. Yeah, you get the back hit, and you can go into like another forward tilt back air, and like he just chains you.
Yeah, it's different than the normal forward tilt Nair because it's like the weaker hit. So
it's the weaker side. Yep.
He can do it longer.
Yeah. The thing about Wario's Nair is he doesn't care what side he's facing. He just wants both hits to connect. So it doesn't matter if you like flick shot and change directions with Nair, because as long as you're getting the combo, that's all. He doesn't care what side he's on. So
yeah, it's cool.
Side note here, I love how Leo wears his headphones, by the way. They're so close to the front of his face.
I noticed that before.
Yeah, look, there you go. Look at it zoomed in. That was great.
Zoomed
for the video
in.
viewers up there.
He said he really likes his hair color.
It looks good. He's killing it, dude. And now his characters are even more broken. Leo!
It's a good day.
It keeps getting away with it, bro. Did you miss my energy, Marcus? Is that what it is?
Yeah, bro. Like last week, I was trying to hash it up, and I was like,
honestly, Marcus took over. Marcus took over last week.
This is not for me. No, I could feel the whole like. I was like, Promise has his presence, bro. You bring a great dynamic.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I really did miss it. Like, I just wasn't feeling well. It was just not my week. So you got to know when to fold them sometimes, man. So it is what it is. We could talk about I have some upcoming tournaments. It's interesting because we went through like a gauntlet of tournaments again, and now we're kind of like on the slower side of things. But there are some good tournaments coming up, and again, some more hot tournaments coming out of Japan as well over the last weekend. So I didn't watch any of them live, but we got our guy Kaneki official on Twitter. He's a fan of the show, and he has just been sending us so many notes about the tournaments that happen overseas, whether it's Japan or EU, like just so many notes. Like he's the man. Like he's just like, I really want this stuff covered in great detail. And so here we go. Like he just did a really good job with it. So, yeah, Marcus, I don't know if you is this the one that you watched, the Shuton one?
The Shuton one, I did not watch that one, no.
I can't do it, man. There's just no way. I'm just terrible. If it's not English, man, I'm completely illiterate. Seibugeki? Help! Someone help!
We appreciate you trying.
Someone help! 200
as long
players,
as you try. 200
players, a lot of upsets. Shuton won, which is great. This is his first non-invitational win of the year. Asimo again, doing really, really well with Ryu. Love to see it. Ashimo.
We should definitely talk about that tournament. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Ryu.
I forgot that we didn't talk about it.
And then Lee Suto, who's a Wi-Fi Terry who was seeded to go 0-2 and got third. Like, just, all right, yep, cool, sounds good. And Yo-Yo, again, it's spelled like Yu, if you're Y-O-U. It's pronounced Yo-Yo, apparently. It was a Shulk who was seeded to go 0-2 and got top 8, got 7th. Yeah, just insane. Passarimon lost to an Ices.
The matchup sucks for Fox.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. It definitely seems like a stressful one. There's a lot of good. The best Bayo in Japan beat Juso, a good Inkling player.
No,
There's so many good results. Was that?
They lost to the Inkling.
Or lost, I'm sorry. I had that backwards. Yeah, you're right. Brood going plant again? What's up with that, man? What's going on? That's insane.
I think it's cool that Brood plays plant, but man, he's such a good player.
I
wish
know!
he played a better character, but you know what, Brood, do your thing. Mess him up. I'm just a fan since I'm just a Brawl fanboy, so.
The plant jab be like...
that jab's frame too.
Yeah. It's really good, yeah. And the gentleman's nice. The rapid jab is terrible.
Yeah. Steve in Minecraft.
Steven
next tournament
in the cut.
I think So I think the two main takeaways from Seibugeki, whatever, man. You already know. Shuton getting first, which is great. Congrats to Shuton. And Ashimo, again, getting second with Ryu. So the theme continues going into Kagaribi, which had about 750 players. Acola, if you don't know the name already, you have not been paying attention. Acola.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Acola. I know. I said it to myself like 1,000 times, I swear. I just forget it. Acola, again, Steve from Japan, which is, I think at one point we said that. We were like, we need to see a good Japanese Steve player.
True.
Like that. I'm pretty sure we said that at someone go.
Yeah, we were like, bro, why is there no, it was when Gact first came for a glitch and he was like just losing to Steves. And we were just like, wait, there are no Steves in Japan. Like, where are they? Like, what the heck? They need some. Look what we've done. Oh no.
Now, like,
summoned Acola.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Get up attacking into the TNT while they're recovering.
That was godlike.
And you're invincible, so you don't get hit.
He has so many little tricks. Yep. I love to see it.
I think Steve
is insane.
Is potentially the best character in the game.
It's too lit.
Definitely
possible.
Definitely in the tier with the best of the best. Not the worst.
Definitely in contention.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This character is starting to break the game, and by starting, I've been breaking the game.
Let's check the tapes. Who had Steve in their top 10 when we did our tier list?
Oh, nobody. That was a different Steve.
I didn't know about the tech, damn it.
They didn't have the
why are you proud of that?
I knew, dude, because it feels good to have a good prediction. I also had several top 5, so they really balance out. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be right. We don't talk about that, though. We move on.
This top 5.
Huh?
True. Oh, man. In a perfect world somewhere. Yeah, he is. That'd be great. But it was, I rewatched it, and the one thing I really had faith in is that they would find tech and that was something, it was not so much about the character, it was about the community. Like, because they really, really, really wanted to find tech with this character. I mean, it is about the character. You can't be garbage. Like, sure, the little Matt community is like super pumped about him and has all his tech and stuff, but it's not going to pay off in the same way just because the character differential, right? Like, that's great, and you know, you can push any character any limit. But at the same time, like Steve's frame data, his ability, like his natural game plan. I didn't even talk about his punish game when I talked about how strong he is. Not to mention, like Charles said, all the little tricks he can have, like especially ledge trapping. This character is the truth. Like he just is.
Jesus, this character is
damage output, recovery, the block. You've been saying it a lot, Charles, recently that the block might be the best move in the game, which is really interesting.
Yeah, because like I will say, like
that was sick.
A community can try really hard to find tech, obviously, but it also helps that you have a move like block that just is the only move in the fucking game that creates terrain in the air. Like the fact, I will say this right now, the fact that there is no lag animation after a block breaks and you just like fall off of it. They didn't put any animation. I think that's a huge like development issue in terms of like the strength of the character, because now you can get away and you can mine blocks, you can hit blocks. There's a Steve Infinite that's posted because you're going back and forth, starting up down tilt. The down tilt can hit the block too. You can like this character is so wild because even the way Acola plays this character too, like sometimes you see him get offensive with his blocks, like put blocks behind him. And let me tell you right now, when a character puts blocks behind him and they start playing neutral with you, you all of a sudden lose access to horizontal options that will, because there's a clip of him fighting a Falcon and the Falcon goes for run up jab. He techs on the wall and just hits him for it. So if you can't use horizontal knockback moves against Steve, all of a sudden, now in most characters' kits, your longest range move for spacing hits usually horizontal, right? So because of that, when the wall's behind Steve, he shuts down a lot of your options in terms of horizontal spacing tools. And then now you have to play neutral with this character, and you're like, oh well, crap, I can't really like hit him like left or right. You know what I mean? And that cuts a lot of options out. Steve is one of the few characters in the game that can put like a two blocks behind him on a ledge trap, throw out a meaty aerial. If you get up attack it, he techs it and he hits you. Name one other character in the game that can throw out a meaty aerial and like if you get up attack and hit him, you can get reversaled. There's no other character. And those are very simplistic uses of block.
Yeah.
We didn't even get into the bullshit of like, like shield art. Shield art choke is Oh, shield art choke versus get up attack. Okay, Void got me.
Oh, he did get. Oh, he got you, dude. Ooh, good one, Void.
I was fucking wrong, dude. Rip.
Wait, who does a get up attack into shield art?
Shulk, yeah, who gets up attack into shield art though? No, but he's right. Shulk is another character that can get hit by a get up attack and reversal you on a ledge trap while throwing out a meaty aerial. He solved the riddle.
Wait, what about focus attack?
Ooh, focus. Oh wait, we got armor attack.
Well, there's the top two of the tournament, Steve and Ryu.
Yeah, exactly. Ryu, that's a very surprising character to get. Dude, and Ryu like Ryu, as of recently, has been doing really well. We had Ryu do well at Genesis 8 as well, right?
Icon, of course.
Went crazy.
So, it is a really interesting obviously, like in my opinion, a really interesting topic to see where Ryu's kind of ending up right now. Like, as the meta goes on, and we develop more tech and know and understand the game better, is shield pressure, and speed was it overvalued at first? So Ken got overvalued, and now like the camping style of Ryu is going to be a little bit stronger. It's really hard to say, man. It's really cool to see though. I think Ryu is such a sick character, like period, like just as a character in any game that he's in. But in Ultimate, especially after the Fireball buffs and everything else that he got, things like underrated things like his up air, the hitbox on his up air is so stupid. Like it's multi-hit and you can cancel it.
That was the bread and butter for
Yep.
Ashimo? Is that how you pronounce the tag?
Ashimo,
yeah. Like to beat Gak, they landed like weak nair into rising up air true Shoryu is so cool.
Huh?
Yeah.
Up air 1, you can cancel up air hit 1 into true Shoryu.
Yeah,
because it's 2 hits.
When I talked to Icon, I asked him what he thought about some matchups. I talked to him at Genesis, and I asked him what he liked so much about Ryu against Pikachu, and he said up air was one of the things he really liked, just because the hitbox is so good and active, and you can cancel it. Like that's just obviously fireballs and like all that other stuff is good. Like whatever. But Ryu's ability to kill too helps a lot against Pikachu. Not that Ken is a problem, but with Ken you have to get close and confirm stuff. Ryu can kind of throw, not randomly, but Tatsu, if you throw it out there, you can beat out some of Pikachu's stuff. But he mentioned up air specifically, like that hitbox is, I think it's gone underrated for a while. And I think since his neutral air was not what it was in Smash 4, because in Smash 4 it was like one of the most broken aerials in the game. And in this game, it's a lot more honest, but it is still really good. And I think people slept on that for a while. I think people are starting to get it down. Combined with the buffs that he got, like it's really nice, dude. I love seeing good Ryu. Obviously, I love seeing good Ryu play, but we'll see how he keeps going, man. It'll be interesting to see him, Ken. We all talk about all the time who the best of the fighting game guys are.
I always said Ryu was the best. I don't know what you guys are talking
Ryu's
about.
the best? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I was right.
Oh
Everyone called me crazy when I said Ryu's the best fighting game character.
Esam always said that he thought Ryu was significantly better than Ken.
Do you know why? I think
Wait.
it's because okay, so there was a period where he would play Vendetta on Wi-Fi and get absolutely smoked by him.
His Ryu.
By his Ryu. Yeah, remember because that's how Vendetta won the Smash Bros. Tour like Southeast section.
Yep.
Was he ended up playing Esam and he just smoked him. Like
I always said to Esam it's because he has Pikachu goggles and Ryu does better in the matchup by a lot.
Right, exactly.
It's like Ken's worst matchup by, well, not his worst. It's down there for sure, like his worst matchup. And Ryu, it's fine. Like it's almost an even matchup, I'd say, if not straight up even for Ryu.
Yeah.
Whereas with Ken, it's like a 60-40.
What, Pikachu Ryu?
No way, it's even.
Bro, I don't know.
It might be.
Yeah, I'm saying, dude. From
Looks
everything
like
I've seen, I don't know.
What?
Pick up Ryu? Oh, please.
Okay, once again, just like last week, I'm saying it. Olimar is on the come up.
Yeah.
Olimar is back.
Who's that, 34? Was that the player's tag?
Yeah.
34?
Yeah, 34.
Amazing Olimar
Winning all the Wi-Fi tournaments. That character is popular at top level and consistently like placing super well.
Yeah.
In multiple regions.
In multiple regions. Olimar, the spaceman is back.
Wait, we're all fans of Olimar, right? Like, this is not...
Yeah,
I know,
love
when I
Olimar.
talk sometimes,
Dude, Olimar is...
it sounds sarcastic. I mean it. I actually mean it this time.
No, I like
Olimar.
Low-key, I'm a fan, and I don't know when it happened. Like, this is a very recent thing.
I hated Olimar like the first 4 months of Ultimate before he got nerfed. I really hated Olimar, but it's funny because after the nerfs, Olimar grew on me, and then some of the other character additions that we got to Ultimate, I was just like, dang, Olimar, you know what?
You're not as bad.
I'm hype about Olimar.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I love watching Olimar now.
It's
to me, Olimar feels like a very fundamental character. And I don't know. I like watching it. I think the Pikmin lineup dynamic. I love commentating Olimar.
Yeah.
It's very interesting how I kind of flipped 180. There's actually a clip of me at like the first pound where they turn on the camera and they didn't let me and Max know about it. And Max, I was like, oh, so who's coming up? Who's still in winners? And then Max was like, Myron. And then now, no, this is live. It's live, and I didn't know. And I was just like, sigh. I'm like, oh, I like roll my eyes and stuff.
Fucking Olimar, dude. It's so
I just hated Olimar back then.
Well,
it's funny because I'm cool with Myron now. I've like talked to him after. I'm like, hey man, I didn't like mean it any personally or anything. Like that. And I actually think Myron's goated.
And he's been doing
amazing
Myron,
recently
by the way.
too, right?
Rules.
Yeah, the Myron's
he's great. What was I gonna say? I used to be the same way, especially commentating Olimar. Like, it was worse in Smash 4 too, I think, but it's better now. Like his damage output's insane. Commentating him is so easy and fun. Charles, we were talking about this last night because his game plan is telegraphed. You know what's coming. Like, what's his lineup? You know, did he do an aerial and switch to a blue? He's probably, and you're at kill percentage. He's probably looking for a grab. You know, like
makes the commentator sound like a genius.
Yeah, exactly. It's so easy. And the thing is, and like, if you're sitting there and you're like, these guys are idiots, like Olimar sucks, try to play him. That's what made me appreciate him. I'm like, try to play him, man. It's not that easy. It really isn't. Like, and it feels very satisfying. Like, especially someone who's new to him. Like, when I would hit, like, when I would run away and like get my purple Pikmin, I'd feel so good. I'm like, oh, I have them, and like, someone would approach me now. Like, it's very satisfying. Cards. Yeah, dude, it felt good. I don't know.
I pulled a purple. Yes.
Yeah, it felt great, dude. I got a purple. Then they kill it, and you're like, oh fuck! Like, god damn it!
Restart all
like,
over again.
Exactly. It sucks. Like, And that's when I learned, like, that was a lesson as a commentator. Is like, dude, if you don't like commentating a character, try playing as them and see what you think after that. It really isn't that easy, or you know what I mean? Like, and there are some characters out there that's like, oh, this character's tough to commentate as. Try playing as them. It gives you a good perspective for sure. Sonic was the same way for me. Still don't really understand that character as well as I can, but I've come around to appreciate him a lot on commentary, especially watching Sonic's more. And especially during quarantine, I mean, it was ride or die at that point. You're either going to learn to like commentating Sonic, or you're going to quit. Like that was retirement, or it's like the meme with the two paths.
You're just going to get used to it.
Yeah, commentate Sonic and enjoy it, or retire. Like those are your two options. Like that was it. That's what you had, and it's an easy choice for me because there's a lot to appreciate with those characters and stuff.
How are you guys feeling with Smash right now? Like, are you guys playing a lot? Like, what are y'all up to within the actual game itself?
I've been playing a lot more recently. I know when we had our January episode, that was like one of my resolutions. I just want to play the game more. Like for just commentating in general, like especially when you start getting older as well, and you don't really compete as much. It's not like your first priority in Smash. I found it a little harder and harder to play, but I think right before quarantine or during quarantine, I just switched over to Fox, and it helped me a lot just to play the game more because I mained Wolf for like the first year or so. Like I mained Wolf pre-quarantine essentially because he was just like a very good character. I still have fun playing Wolf, but it kind of got to the point in the Ultimate meta where it was very clear that to win with Wolf, you have to play very defensive. He's not like a very shield pressure like character in my opinion. Like I think he can still pressure shields well, but to get a lot of reward, you have to drift in with the character. So I like hitting buttons. I like pressuring shield. I like moving around really quick. And I was a Fox main in Smash 4. So started playing Fox a lot more, and I'm just playing the game a lot more, and it's really fun. And yeah, I don't know. It's been fun. I've been playing Wi-Fi a lot more, so I've just been playing a lot more in general. And
I'll see you in the arena.
Yes, the East Coast West Coast arena. Let's get it, dude.
Yeah, classic, dude. And it's interesting, Charles, because we always talk about know your goals when you're playing and all this stuff. So I'm really glad to see you playing Fox because it means you're going to be playing more and enjoying your time more and all. Well, maybe not enjoying your time more because you kind of hate when you play as Fox. You love it. You have a very much love-hate relationship playing Fox.
I've been coming to terms with it. Like I know. When I die at 50, I know it sucks. But then when I back air someone's shield, I know it sucks for them. Or if I nair someone's shield, I know it sucks for them. And like I'm dashing around and like you. And another thing that I've come to terms with is Fox as well. Like Fox really sucks off stage, but I think Fox is one of the hardest characters in the game to juggle. He falls extremely fast. You have to guess. You cannot react on a Fox juggle unless like the Fox is just not opting the fast fall or anything like that. Neutral air dodge fast fall, just empty fast falls, fast falling with like a frame 4 nair he gets a lot of reward off of. So you gotta, if you're respecting the nair and you're trying to whiff punish it, if I fast fall into the ground and shield, then you like the juggle's already over, right? So knowing, like obviously understanding, like I feel like before with Fox, I would always look at the weaknesses, just being like, oh my god, I'm dying at 50. Like if you can't edge guard Fox, you're dog shit. Like blah 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 blah, right? Like, but instead, I'm trying to look more at the positives of the character. Like, okay, well, how am I really losing neutral? Because obviously, I have a very strong neutral, and my opponent has to respect a lot. Am I turning certain situations into a juggle situation? Like, can I illusion high and create a juggle situation instead of an offstage layup for my opponent, stuff like that? So, just also like looking into the strengths of your character and trying to not only. I think it can be a very negative downward spiral if you just look at the negatives and you're just focusing on that every time you lose, right? It's just like, well, of course I died off stage, like duh.
Yeah, bro, because that's what. All right, so. People may have seen, bro. I was in Void stream earlier, and he was like, "Bro, Marth?" question mark, and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, I got a recommended video from VG, and it's you versus the snake." And I'm like, "Oh no, I get smoked in that set." But anyway, I've been playing a lot of Marth, right? And that set.
Have you seen the Smash University video on Marth?
Yeah,
it's actually really good.
I've watched a lot. That's actually part of why I picked up Marth.
Ignace is goated.
Yes.
I was sitting there and I was playing Marth, and I was like, dang, I kind of miss Min Min right now. There are things that I absolutely abhor when I'm playing Min Min, right? I'm sitting there, I get bored very easily because it's the same interactions over and over again. Someone's running at me. They're probably going to jump. They're going to risk it all trying to get in. I might hit them in with like a strong move. I might hit them with a weak move. Or they might hit me. If they hit me, I take infinite or I die. It sucks, right? That interaction happens the entire match. And sometimes I'm just like, man, I wonder what they're going to do now. Oh, they're going to jump. Oh, they're going to jump.
The entire match, the entire tournament for you.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, like,
for...
it just keeps happening. And I'm like, dang, I finally messed up. They jumped in on me. I got hit. I died. If I were a different character, this would have happened. If I was a character that could recover, if I was a character that had like tools and disadvantage, I'd be going crazy. And I picked Marth against Snake, and I was just like, I have to fight Snake.
Yeah, I'm missing Min Min right now.
Wait a second, bring Min Min back, right?
Like, I want to put the Min Min goggles back on.
I'm playing Min Min versus like Ganon and K. Rool, and I'm like, or I'm playing Marth versus Ganon and K. Rool, and I'm like, dang, if I don't hit no kill setups, they live into like 210. But with Min Min, they can't even play the game. So it's like, it's really easy to lose sight of like what's strong about your character until you pick a different character, right? Like,
yeah, I'm definitely going through a similar thing. Definitely playing more Belmont, which is fun, which is Gavin's fault. He said my Belmont has the X Factor, and I've never forgotten it. I bring up anytime I hit anything with Belmont, I'm like, that's the X Factor.
I was really curious. One day I just asked Haz, I was like, who do you think your best character is? Like, what do people usually tell you?
Which hurt my feelings.
And he said Ken. Like, he thinks Ken is his best character. And I was like, oh, like, that's interesting because I think Belmont is your best character. Like, I think you have the X Factor with Belmont in comparison to your Ken. But I was like, but it makes sense why you think your Ken is better. Like,
yeah.
Basically, long story short, he's been playing like more Belmont because of me and stuff, especially because I play Diddy and Belmont does better versus Diddy. But
and with that, it was like I was kind of thinking about it, and I think very similar to what Marcus was saying is one of my worst habits that I have is. Well, I went from Smash 4 Bayo was my main, who didn't have a disadvantage state, or essentially her disadvantage state turned into an advantage state magically with Witch Twist or Witch Time. Yeah. You just won while you were getting hit. It was amazing. It ruled very much. Switching to Belmont after that, almost impossible. I remember turning to Mars very early on. I'm like, what do I do while you're hitting me? Like, what can I do? He's like, dude, nothing. Like, eat shit, basically. Like, keep talking about, like, you're getting hit. I was like, okay. And so I went from, like, the strongest advantage state ever in Smash to, like, one of the worst ever in Smash, especially with Belmont. And then what I realized over time, and I realized this only recently, is with Ken, and Ryu, I have a bad habit of focusing a disadvantage a lot because it's a good get out of disadvantage tool, especially against some characters like Wolf or whatever who don't have really strong multi-hits in the air to break it without a super hard read or whatever. But what I realized was, and when I was playing Richter against you last night, Gavin, is whenever I get hit with Belmont, which I love this about myself because I never thought about it. I'm like, when I get hit by them and when I'm into disadvantage, I think as hard as I can every single time on how the hell do I get out of this situation? What's my next move, right? Like, what am I going to do next? If I'm predictable, I'm dead. You know what I mean? Great recovery against Kome, by the way. That was sick. That was actually terrible. But anyway, sorry. I can't commentate my own man. That was actually godlike.
Oh my
God. What did not be, dude? All right, I got to stop watching my videos.
Short you spammer, dude.
I am a short you spammer for sure. But a part of it, too, is I do that to test people because then if they don't respond, like if they just keep pressuring me like idiots, they're going to eat like 20. I think Richter's upbeat is like 18 and Kent's is like 21. So, okay, you want to keep pressuring me? It's like, yeah, it's a lot, dude. It's like a ton.
It's going to add up.
And they're both frame 6. So, like, that's definitely a bad habit I have between the two of them, which is really nice. But the thing with it is, with especially Richter, if I upbeat foolishly, I'm going to eat a huge punish. So when I get a chance to, like, if I'm getting juggled with him, I care so much about getting out of that situation, which is very different than how I feel when I'm playing Ken. So it's something I've been thinking about in my gameplay a lot more that I need to do with both of them and not just Richter, is really, really, really think about disadvantage and bad recovery and all that good stuff, because it's an easy way to lose with those two characters. Is, even though they're very different in a lot of ways, they're very similar in how bad they are and disadvantage and recovering sometimes. So I've been playing a lot more too, and like Charles, it's I can't really enter a lot of tournaments. Like, life is just busy for weeklies, and then also at majors, I'm usually commentating and working. So In terms of goals, and I was talking to Jude about this last night too, Jackal. So he asked me, he's like, you play a lot, like, you don't really enter a lot of brackets though. I'm like, I wish I could. Well, I could, I guess, but I wish I had more time to. He's like, well, what do you play for? I'm like, I just really like to, and it keeps me fresh for commentary. Like, having that perspective of getting ledge trapped by someone and being in that pain allows me to relay that information in a good way in commentary. Like, just being through that, like being ledge trapped by you or by Jackal, like really, really good players. I'm like, you feel that pain, and I think it helps me a lot with commentary, being able to relate to that stuff and being able to talk kind of more first person perspective than kind of just speaking from what I'm seeing, like speaking from what I've felt and what I've experienced. So
not a lot of people get to be a part of the Tweek Jackal practice sessions. So
it's brutal, bro. It's brutal, but it's really
you probably get a lot out of that. Yeah,
bro.
I do.
Getting ledge trapped.
Yes, I am getting. Oh my god, I get camped. So I play Richter. I'm the least campy guy in the rotation. It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy, bro?
Yeah, it is.
I'll be on Mim and like, bro, can y'all move forward? Like, what's happening?
No.
Never.
And that's what Jackal I was talking about last night. I was like, dude, plus I just feel like an idiot if I had an opportunity to play against such good players and I just didn't. Like, I think if I ever got to a point where I'm like, nah, I just don't ever want to play against these guys, I'd be like, it's time to hang it up, like, period. Like, come on. Like, these are some world-class players here. I got to get some good practice in when I can. So I just love playing, honestly. So it's been really fun. And I think with Ultimate, what a lot of people have found, and this is definitely the case for me, is I just love my characters, and it's very satisfying to hit stuff with them or try to get better and improve. So I don't know. I still love to play. That's kind of the bottom line. But yeah. What about you? Said all right.
Be a competitor to play the game, essentially, right? Like, obviously, like we can still compete and like try to play our best. You know what I'm saying? And I think I actually entered like a couple of brackets, like, got shit on, didn't make it out of pools or whatever as of recently, not at Genesis, but like at Glitch and stuff. But it doesn't. You don't have to be like going to locals and stuff just to play the game and wanting to improve at the game, because the process of improvement is fulfilling. Whether or not you get PR'd in your region or PGR'd or anything like that, I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate the process, and that process can, one, it can just be fun, and two, it can also help you grow as a person because you're reevaluating yourself and you're humbling yourself to the point where it's like, okay, what do I need to improve on, stuff like that. So don't underrate the process. It's still a fun process to go through, whether you're trying to get results or not.
Definitely. And you started off pretty strong. I don't know if you talked about Sephiroth on the last episode. I listened to a bit of it, but I didn't get through the whole thing. But you did drop that pretty early, Gab. In terms of you playing, you've been talking about Sephiroth and Diddy again, and no Wolf again. What's going on? Come on, man. What's going on?
Wolf lasted a week. It's cool.
So
2 weeks, right?
Maybe 2 weeks.
I got COVID, sadly, and I haven't been playing much. I've been pretty much in bed a lot lately. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, like playing Smash and doing Metafy lessons and streaming and all that stuff. I'm slowly getting back into it. I don't know. I feel like my mindset has shifted a little bit because I just haven't been playing as intensely as I was, and when I do, I kind of just pick my favorite characters, which are, thankfully, Diddy is my favorite character and my best character, and he's like super good, and like he's like a nice like niche anti-meta character, so I get some like nice little advantages that a lot of people don't have. Basically, like, there's only one, like, I don't want to sound like super arrogant, but there's only one Tweek Diddy Kong out there in the world. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to fight anything like that. And I feel like I'm the type of guy who likes advantages like that because I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve, and I like to take your stock before you can even blink, kind of thing, and shake your hand and leave the setup before you can even realize what hit you. So yeah, Diddy's my favorite to play overall. He's really good. So like, he's like a character that's always been there ever since I started taking him serious. So I never hesitate to main him, but the characters after that have been shifting like every 5 seconds. Sephiroth is like my favorite character, like on like the roster, kind of like visually and all that. Like, he's really tough to play, and he's like, I don't think he's that good, but I've just been trying to make it work. And I've been my goal lately when I've been playing is to like not care that much. If that's I don't know if that sounds weird, but I kind of just have fun with it and just do what I can and like try to learn and like do all do what I like, all the tech I can do to like try to win or have an edge over my opponent. Like do my footstool out of shield with Sephiroth or like go for the crazy hard read. Like I'm just trying to see if I can like approach the game a little differently and like see where that brings me. Like kind of playing a little bit more carefree and see if I play better that way. But yeah, I guess I haven't been pushing myself super hard because I've been sick. I've also been dealing with like a Crohn's flare up because of COVID. So I've been feeling pretty terrible. But yeah, pretty chill episode today. Not a lot to talk about in terms of tournaments, but Slingshot is pretty interesting. The game is kind of like shifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been great. There are some upcoming tournaments this weekend too, which I thought would be good to cover because there aren't any of like the huge U.S. majors going on. You got Code Crimson, that's in Alabama, Roll Tide on the 14th. You got Scat, Goblin, Sonito, to name a couple going, so that should be a good one. I'm gonna watch all these for sure.
Zerxel might go off. That's in Alabama.
Yeah.
Zerxel got second the last time like a bunch of Georgia people came.
Nice.
Sorry. So,
no, that's great. Jake is going to be there too. Mugen.
Nice.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a really good tournament. Local New England ones, Smash the Line. Lights going, Ling, Scott, DM, Kiwi. Like you already know who's coming to a New England regional, so
lots
that'll
of great
obviously
players.
be good one. Yeah, back in Blood 4 as well, which is in Portland, Oregon. Fatality, Bowser Leon, because it's not going to be French Leon from Lucina. Elegant, Moxie, Luis, Send. Apollo Kage, like just a lot of amazing players going to this tournament as well. So a lot of good stuff to watch out for. Those are all happening on the 14th too, just so you guys know, on Saturday. So going to be a lot going on that day. I'll be watching, that's for sure. Maybe we do a watch party again. I'm definitely going to be chilling
possibly.
at home, so
yeah, that sounds hype.
Thank you guys for watching today, episode 47. That's a wrap, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
See you.
Bye.